This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Scott Dennis has the day off. First tonight, a developing story in San Bernardino, California. A shooting at an elementary school leaves 2 adults dead and 2 students injured. Both of the children are in critical condition. ABC's Danya Backus explains what led to this shooting.
Possible active shooter at North Park Elementary.
A school on lockdown.
These guys are moving these students in north of.
Lines of elementary school students being rushed to safety and law enforcement officers surrounding the building after police say multiple people were shot at North Park Elementary School in San Bernardino, California.
Got 3 down. Come to the east side of the school.
Police believe the shooting, which happened in a classroom, is a murder-suicide. 2 adults were killed, 2 students injured.
Are you able to hear any news of her?
No, I can see her from here. That's why I waited here till I could see her.
Parents on their cell phones anxiously waiting to learn the status of their children.
She's scared. You know, Mom, come and get me, and I'm told her I was here.
Oh, I'm going to hug her. I'm going to hug her. And I hope she's okay.
We've been told a teacher is one of the adults who was killed. Law enforcement officers have not released the name of the victims, and they're still working to establish a motive. In San Bernardino, California, Danya Backus, ABC News.
The number of road rage incidents involving guns are on the is on the rise across the country, and the Sunshine State leads the nation with the highest number of those cases. A nonprofit news organization called The Trace reports 620 road rage incidents involving a gun in 2016 nationwide, 146 of which happened in Florida. At least 3 happened right here in Sarasota County. Some say firearms heighten the stakes in smaller altercations. Others say they provide an important line of defense.
When guns are available and people are enraged, rather than use their fists or use their voices, they have a tendency to reach for their guns.
I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And I don't think just introducing a firearm automatically raises the danger in any confrontational situation.
AAA reports 80% of drivers admit some instance of aggressive driving. Pedestrian and bicycle fatalities are also increasing at an alarming and unprecedented rate in Florida. However, when comparing Manatee and Sarasota counties to others in the state, data shows the Suncoast is relatively safe. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick is joining us live from downtown Sarasota with a look at what is causing these deadly crashes. Jess.
Good evening, Haley. Florida is on pace to record 600 fatal pedestrian accidents in 1 year. It's the second highest rate in the nation. But when you take a look at the number of fatal pedestrian and bicycle accidents on the Suncoast, it's just a small fraction of what's happening statewide.
Sarasota Police Department has spent months educating and warning people about the rules of the road.
The 237 warning citations that we handed out went to drivers, went to pedestrians, and to bicyclists, so they went to all 3.
Now they're cracking down and handing out tickets.
A moving violation for a driver, depending on the circumstances, can be around $166. A pedestrian's around $65.
Already in 2017, Florida has seen 146 pedestrians killed in traffic accidents. One of those pedestrians was killed in Sarasota County. 3 have been killed in Manatee County so far this year, along with 1 bicyclist. Pedestrians on the Suncoast attribute many of the accidents to distracted driving.
People who don't pay enough attention because they're texting.
And the distractions aren't limited to a cell phone.
Everyone's on vacation and they're enjoying our weather and they're taking in the sights. I see a lot of that, a lot of looking around.
And then there's the generational theory.
I think that the city has, which I am part of, an older generation, and I think when you get older that you don't pay as much attention.
Studies show that across the nation, alcohol is involved in many of these fatal pedestrian accidents. 34% of pedestrians who were killed in 2016 had blood alcohol levels over the legal limit. Data also shows that nearly 3/4 of these fatal accidents happened when pedestrians or bicyclists are not in crosswalks, but instead in travel lanes. It's something that the state as a whole is working on, along with programs like the one at SPD.
We have started to see that pedestrians are keeping an eye out. They're actually using crosswalks.
The data agrees. Although Florida as a whole is seeing a rise in pedestrian accidents, Sarasota and Manatee counties are seeing fewer.
Last year, both Sarasota and Manatee counties recorded 15 total fatal pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Both of those numbers were down when compared to 2015. In Sarasota, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Jess. Improvement plans are in the works for one of the busiest intersections in Sarasota. The Florida Department of Transportation will host a meeting tomorrow on the future of US 41 and Fruitville, that intersection there. Possible plans include a roundabout. The adjacent Quay property is due to begin some construction there eventually. The meeting will take place at the City Hall Annex building that is on 1st Street. It's tomorrow from 5 to 7 p.m. And now for a check on our forecast, we're going to head over to Bob after a very nice weekend, starting to feel the temperatures creep up a little, Bob.
Yeah, coming back up, the humidity values also starting to rise a little bit after a very dry weekend and a chilly one at that, especially on Saturday morning. And Van Wezel webcam showing beautiful conditions out there for boaters anywhere along the coastline. Pretty good conditions as a result of an easterly wind flow. You can see these clouds moving basically from over land toward the Gulf, and some of them starting to get a little bit of a light rain shower activity with them. And I don't expect to see any accumulation, but you could see a sprinkle or two as you make your way through the coast here. 79 degrees, dew point is at 60 now, the humidity at 52%, winds out of the west. A little sea breeze has developed right near the coast, so that sea breeze kind of butting up against that easterly wind flow and causing a little bit of cloudiness this afternoon. You can see that cloudiness right there quite clearly stretching all the way along the west coast of Florida. That's due to that easterly wind flow around that large area of high pressure. And those winds out of the east inland and out of the west from the coastline. We'll have much more on our forecast for the rest of this work week coming up in a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan wants to prepare now so the nation is ready in the event of a deadly infectious disease outbreak. Representative Buchanan wants Congress to create a rapid response fund to combat diseases like Zika and Ebola. Buchanan says the fund would allow the country's top disease fighters to respond immediately to outbreaks instead of having to wait for Congress to act. Florida was ground zero for the Zika virus last year, and Buchanan says he had to fight for federal resources for nearly a year before funding was available. And now for a check on our business report, we're going to head over to ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern, who's joining us now to say that it's been a pretty quiet start to this 4-day week on Wall Street. Richard.
Haley, you're exactly right. First of all, it is a 4-day week out of respect to Good Friday. On Friday, the stock market is closed, and of course, tonight is the first night of Passover, so lots of our viewers and friends will be celebrating at Seder's this evening. You put that all together, and you have some of the lowest volume we've seen, and some of the lowest changes, although all positive. As you're about to see, every index that we follow every day was higher, but the highest gain is less than 1/10%. That's what we call a quiet day. Let's take a look at the quiet numbers, and indeed that's exactly what they are. There you see the Dow was up by less than 2 points, 1/100% at 20,658.02 on quiet volume of 584 million shares. Now let's take a look at the NASDAQ, up 5/100%, 3 points at 5,880.93. Also on low volume of 1,381 million shares. And the big mover of the day is the S&P, up by a whopping 7/100%, less than 2 points, 2,357.16. Well, the investigation continues at Wells Fargo, and it becomes more and more expensive for the senior officials at Wells Fargo. John Stumpf, who was the CEO when all the fake account status was revealed, today was fined again by Wells Fargo. He now personally has been clawed back, as the term says, $69 million from money that he was paid while he was the CEO. Meanwhile, a lady who was in charge of the community banking today paid a fine, also a clawback as it's called. She was hit for $47 million. So today's fines alone, $75 million. And of course, this all goes back to the fact that Wells Fargo was giving bonuses and putting pressure on its sales force to open accounts. And what did they do? They opened accounts whether they were authorized to do so or not. That now becomes old news, and shares of Wells Fargo in the believe it or not category actually moved higher despite all of the news over the weekend. Haley, it's a very strange world in which we live.
Maybe a sign that these things are getting put behind the bank. Maybe that's what investors are thinking.
With the exception of those two people who are a little bit lighter in the wallet tonight.
Right. Oh, definitely. And Richard, you have some news on Whole Foods.
And that's positive news. That stock was up almost 10% today. That on news that an activist investor, as they're called, have taken a sizable position, 9% of the company's stock. So don't be surprised if some people think that Whole Foods might be up for sale.
Interesting. All right. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
And still to come on your Suncoast News, it seems you can adopt just about anything these days, including planets. Details on NASA's latest campaign. And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast for the week ahead. And what does your personal finances, what do they play in your well-being? We'll take a look at that in Health Smart.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner. After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce.
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by 1 on any or all numbers and still win.
So many times we underestimate the human spirit's drive to recover. We often see people surpass what any of us might have expected initially. The Rehabilitation Pavilion at Sarasota Memorial is the top of the line. It allows us to really bring the patient's recovery to the next level.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction. Spend time choosing from exciting colors, textures, and accessories, and then collaborate with one of our expert designers to create the perfect custom storage solution to fit your style and budget. At California Closets, we design everything to exceed your expectations for any room in your home. Go to CaliforniaClosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the nearest showroom to you. California Closets, designed to your life.
Tensions in the Middle East are rising after a defiant message this weekend from the Assad regime. Syria's Russian-made fighter jets taking off from the Al-Sharat air base less than 24 hours after the U.S. Navy pounded it with 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles. On Sunday, a joint warning from Syria's allies, Russia, Iran, and Hezbollah, saying the U.S. crossed red lines, and from now on, we will respond to anyone, including America, if it attacks Syria. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson heads to Moscow tomorrow. He insists the U.S. military strategy in Syria has not changed.
I think our strategy in Syria, as you know, our priority is first the defeat of ISIS, remove them from access to the caliphate, because that's where the threat to the homeland and
But UN Ambassador Nikki Haley said a political solution is impossible as long as Bashar al-Assad is in power. The U.S. is also putting on a show of force in the Pacific, moving an aircraft carrier to the Sea of Japan in response to the growing threat posed by North Korea's nuclear program. Judge Neil Gorsuch is now United States Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch. Gorsuch was sworn in during a White House ceremony by Justice Anthony Kennedy, for whom he once served as a law clerk. The Colorado native is now the 113th person to serve on the nation's highest court.
I am humbled by the trust placed in me today. I will never forget that to whom much is given, much will be expected. And I promise you that I will do all my powers permit to be a faithful servant of the Constitution and laws of this great nation.
Senate Republicans had to trigger the so-called nuclear option, changing the rules so that only a simple majority was needed to confirm Gorsuch over Democratic objections. Gorsuch fills the seat that was left vacant when Justice Antonin Scalia died last year. Now the court returns to its previous balance of 4 conservatives, 4 liberals, and Justice Kennedy as a swing vote. Earth is apparently going up for adoption. NASA is splitting our planet into 64,000 pieces and adopting them out as part of an awareness campaign. Each piece is about 55 miles wide. For example, there are chunks like Midtown Manhattan or a piece of the Arctic Ocean up for grabs. But users do not get to pick their slices. They are chosen at random. Adopters receive certificates that they can print or share on social media, highlighting their sections of the Earth. But keep in mind, it is just for fun and it is educational. There is no there are no property rights involved. So let's just say you draw out of the hat, like they draw Midtown Manhattan. You aren't. You are not a real estate billionaire at this point.
You're not going to claim that as yours, huh?
Wouldn't that be
nice?
It'd
be nice to be Siesta Key. You know, it's.
That you'd cash in on that
That'd
too.
be nice.
Yeah.
Bob Key.
Wrigley Field, our director's saying.
Wrigley
Cubs
Field.
fan,
That's another nice one. Yeah.
Opening night
Cubs doing well
tonight.
too. Pretty good.
Yeah.
We are looking at pretty good weather-wise too. Looks like things are looking pretty nice, considering we are looking at a lot of high pressure right now dominating. We are looking at a few isolated sprinkles, if you will. There's always that chance we get this easterly flow. It butts up against the sea breeze near the coast, and we get a little bit of light rain, maybe here and there, scattered about, but not much of a chance. That rain chance less than 20%, and that'll be throughout the week. Now, it was a cool weekend. We had nice, comfortable temperatures, low dew point temperatures, making it feel so nice out there, especially in the morning. I know I had a chance to wear a jacket on Sunday morning, playing a little golf. Rain chances will stay low through this week. As I mentioned, the rain chance less than 20% for a late day shower, a brief sprinkle or two. And then the Easter weekend looking pretty good too. It looks like we're looking at generally fair skies dominating the weather. You can see the clouds and showers well to the north and west of us near Dallas and stretching off toward Arkansas. But for us, fairly high and dry here. We'll zero in on some areas and show you that we have this easterly wind around that high pressure ridge. And with that easterly wind in place and a little bit of a sea breeze developing, you can sometimes get a few showers. We see that activity down south now, all the way from near Naples, stretching up toward Fort Myers, even into Charlotte County and South Sarasota County. There they are. 1 or 2 sprinkles there, here, and there scattered about. I still expect to see a few more popping up before the evening ends and winds down up in Manatee County through this evening. Those winds out of the east and will stay that way through the night, so we're expecting low temperatures to be close to seasonal averages, right around 60 degrees for most areas for lows. And we'll see the possibility of a little sea breeze developing again tomorrow afternoon right near the coast. The radar picture and satellite imagery showing basically some fair weather cumulus clouds moving off from the east to the west on that high pressure ridge located off the coast of Georgia right now. And that high pressure ridge is firmly planted there. It's not moving much, and so it's going to stick around through much of this week. Right now it's 79 at Sarasota, 82 into Bradenton now, 74 right at the end of the Venice Pier. So a little bit milder there with a 74-degree reading. You can bet the winds are coming in from the Gulf. As far as temperatures go for Tuesday, we'll warm up a little bit more so in the low 80s. Most everyone will see low 80s and mid 80s well inland east of I-75. There could be a few mid 80s there. The RPM forecast model showing that easterly wind flow, bringing a few showers occasionally along the coast here. Not much. And then this system kind of stays to the north of us where it will eventually fade away. And you'll notice that the pattern really doesn't change much through Wednesday and Thursday and even into the weekend. This high pressure ridge will hold strong as this storm system kind of rides the top of the ridge and moves off to the east and north of us. Behind it, some cooler air moving through the northern portions of the United States. Right now, the northeast, rain-free, but there is a storm system heading that way. I mentioned the cooler air already starting to spill in across parts of the Dakotas and also into Minnesota, and another storm system getting set to move on shore into California. Temperatures very warm in Philadelphia, 80 there, 70 in Boston, Pittsburgh even warm, 79 right now, and 47 in Bismarck and 56 degrees in Denver, Wichita at 67 and 73 into Dallas. Well, tides upcoming for Sarasota Bay. Low tide will be at 8 o'clock and the high tide will be at 1:34, sunset at 7:52 and sunrise at 7:09 tomorrow. Tonight, mostly fair, seasonal, low temperature 60 degrees, east winds 5 to 10. Tomorrow, we'll look for sunshine most of the day. There'll be a few clouds in the afternoon, a high of 82. East winds will be at 10 to 15 with a little sea breeze developing in the afternoon. And the extended forecast does call for gorgeous weather right through the week and into the weekend with high temperatures slightly above average. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Traffic is backed up on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. As we did tell you earlier, there's an accident in the northbound lanes. In health news tonight, your wealth could affect your health. A study in The Lancet finds the richest 1% of Americans live an average of 10 to 15 years longer than the poorest 1%. Since 2001, those with the least income showed no increase in survival, while people in middle and high income groups have gained on average 2 years in life expectancy. People in low income groups have always been linked to poorer health outcomes because they cannot afford as much health care, and they are more likely to smoke and eat an unhealthy diet. A new study links parental smoking with childhood cancer. It was published in the journal Cancer Research and is the first to link smoking by both parents to genetic changes in tumor cells of children with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL. Gene deletions were found in the leukemia cell, which means they are not inherited from parents but are acquired in the child's immune cells. Researchers determined that for each 5 cigarettes smoked daily during pregnancy, there was a 22% increase in the number of deletions, and for each 5 cigarettes smoked daily during breastfeeding, there was a 74% increase in the number of deletions. There was also an increase in deletions when fathers also smoked before the baby was born. And still to come on your Suncoast News, viral video of security officers dragging a passenger off a flight. You may have seen this by now today. The explanation United is giving for this removal of a passenger. And some people just live for an adrenaline rush. The latest thrill seeker to bring his tricks to the Suncoast.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
ABC7 News at 7 weeknights.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill, I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing, but sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Some sad news from Moat Marine Lab in Sarasota. One of its rescued loggerhead sea turtles has passed away. Trippy, the sea turtle, was rescued last week near Big Pass. We brought you this story. A dive team with the Sarasota Police Department saw the turtle in distress during their monthly training. It's not known how Trippy died, but the turtle was sick. A necropsy is scheduled to determine the exact cause of death. From death to a new opportunity at life, a loggerhead turtle is once again healthy and back in the Gulf thanks to Moat Marine. Moat employees released Mike from Anna Maria Island Bayfront Park today. Mike is an adult female loggerhead turtle. No word on why she's named Mike, but if anyone knows, tweet me. That Moat rescued off of Longboat Key in January. She was suffering from toxins brought on by red tide and was also treated for pneumonia. After 2.5 months of intensive care at Moat's Sea Turtle Rehabilitation Hospital, she is better than ever. Look how well she's swimming. But Moat reminds boaters and beachgoers to be watchful, especially during the upcoming turtle nesting season.
Just stay back from them, watch them. They're beautiful, graceful creatures, but you don't want to bother them. Again, they are protected and threatened, but they're amazing to watch.
It was awesome. It was once in a lifetime. Hopefully I'll do it again. She was huge, and she took off fast.
Mike was also found with an implanted tag from the University of Central Florida, where she nested in Brevard County in 2011. In Canada, a man risks it all to save his dog who fell into a freezing pond, and by sheer coincidence, a news crew just happened to be there to catch it on camera. Take a look. Duncan MacGyver watched as his dog Cosmo fell through the ice there. He jumps in to save the dog and struggles to keep his head above the freezing water. The dog did, so that's why he had to jump in. The news crew was just standing nearby. Guess what they were doing? A story on the dangers of thin ice. That's when they saw this happen, and they had their cameras rolling. MacGyver and Cosmo managed to get out of the water safely, and other than being very cold, both are okay. And remember, the dangers of thin ice. We don't have to worry about that much in Florida. Now to some wild video captured off of Anna Maria Island. The video shows a kiteboarder jumping over the city pier while people are walking nearby. Realtor Bill Garman with Anna Maria Island Real Estate shot this video and shared it with us, so thank you for sending it in. The man behind the stunt is professional kiteboarder Dimitri Mara Menides. He's a Greek native. He performs kiteboarding stunts all over the world. So people here on the Sun Coast were really lucky to see him in action. Holy cow. A water main break in the city of Venice may be fixed, but the problems are not going away. Plus, how days of Delta delays and cancellations became a big moneymaker for one woman and her family. Those stories when we return.
The official salon of ABC7.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
A unique celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota. La Musica, the annual international festival of chamber music, with renowned musicians from 4 continents. April 3rd through April 12th at the Sarasota Opera House and at Sainer Pavilion. Buy your tickets now.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction. Spend time choosing from exciting colors, textures, and accessories, and then collaborate with one of our expert designers to create the perfect custom storage solution to fit your style and budget. At California Closets, we design everything to exceed your expectations for any room in your home. Go to CaliforniaClosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the nearest showroom to you. California Closets, designed to your life.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.